Ground. Ken, good morning. Just bring us up to date. Today is day 2 of the retreat. What are we expecting from that conversation today from Naivasha, of course?
Good morning. Indeed, the second day of the executive retreat started here this morning here in Naivasha with the president chairing the meeting. That is the president chairing the cabinet meeting here, or the cabinet retreat. This is an exclusively a retreat that is involving today's meeting only involving cabinet secretaries, but also around we have seen several governors who have come around, but they're not within the hall where the meeting is currently being held. That tells you maybe the president will be meeting with the governors later in the day, or maybe immediately after this meeting with his cabinet. Today we are expecting that the cabinet secretaries will be tabling or their scorecard. They will be checking where they have been from, where they are now, and maybe the way forward. As the president yesterday said that they will be checking, they will be doing this every year to see where the milestones that the government has made every year in each of the ministries, and maybe come up with a way forward between the working relationship between the executive and the legislature. And today we have seen nearly all the executive members or the cabinet secretaries have come to this particular meeting. That includes the Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, who was not here yesterday, but today we have seen him, and we have also seen all other cabinet secretaries attending this meeting to tell or to give a report of what they have done since they took office for nearly 2 years ago. And I remember that yesterday the president was meeting with, it was a joint meeting between the cabinet, the executive and the legislature, where the president also aired out or maybe raised issues to do with the working relationship between the cabinet secretaries and the legislatures, raising that or coming up with concerns over some kind of ignorance of some of the legislators about government policies. That includes the foreign jobs that have been existing, or they were advertised earlier in January, with some of the MPs saying that they were not even aware of those jobs. And then the president, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, telling the MPs and the cabinet secretaries not to work closely with the legislators and not to hand over their issues to their personal assistants. That means that the executive feels that there is need for more cohesive working relationship between the executive and the legislator. And today we are expecting that maybe some of the cabinet secretaries will be giving the progress reports of their particular ministries, and we shall also be looking at maybe what will be the view of the president in terms of what he feels about the performance of these cabinet secretaries. Remember that in the past we have had instances where the president has scolded some of the cabinet secretaries for not being aware of what is happening. Remember, he once said that some of the cabinet secretaries are not even aware of what is happening in their own ministries, and the president appears to know more than they do. And that means the president might be maybe making some changes depending on the scorecard that each of the cabinet secretary will be tabling here. But that is just what we are expecting. Maybe the president may come up with a raft of measures to ensure that the cabinet is more effective. Remember that we have some issues that have been coming up in various sectors. That includes the security docket, the agriculture, the various dockets where Kenyans are involved or directly concerned on issues to do with food security. Maybe something that the government needs to do more to improve the performance of their service delivery. We shall be bringing you up to date with this and up to date information with what will be happening here in our subsequent bulletin. Back to you.
Right, Ken Gashuhi there, of course, in Naivasha, where the executive retreat is currently happening. President William Ruto, of course, is chairing that particular session, and Ken is just bringing us up to date with regards to that, and we'll be talking to him at 1 p.m. to get the latest of what's happening from there. Moving on now, President William Ruto and his predecessor Uhuru Kenyatta are once again on a collision